So back in March, I announced that I had a new short film on the way called One Night in Loch Ness. This movie was going to be an animated sequel to our previous short film, One Night in Squatchtown. Many of the original actors would be returning to reprise their roles, this time as voice actors, as well as the director, myself, and our composer, Reese Mosley. We released a poster, a trailer, and several bits of behind-the-scenes footage on social media in the weeks leading up to the film's release. But the catch is that One Night in Loch Ness doesn't exist, and it never did. So I had the idea to do this back in late November or early December of 2022. I was rewatching footage from the Q&A session following the premiere screening of One Night in Squatchtown, and somebody in the crowd asked us whether we would ever make a Squatchtown sequel.
Another night in Squatchtown. Oh, one night at Loch Ness. Oh.
So the idea was as follows. We would spend the entire month of March leading up to April 1st, April Fool's Day, promoting a fake animated movie that doesn't exist. But in order to pull this off, we were going to need a team of conspirators. The first person I told about this idea was my friend Zoe Davidson. She was a co-producer on the original Squatchtown, and we planned to credit ourselves the same way on this fake movie. Next up, I called up Reese Mosley, the co-writer, star, and composer from Squatchtown. As a huge fan of committing to the bit, he was in from the start. He loved the idea.
Hi, I'm Reese Mosley. I am a co-writer of Squatchtown, and you just walked the prank.
Our fake animated movie was going to need some fake voice actors, so I called my best friend Michael Light, who was one of the stars of the original Squatchtown. He agreed to do a couple of lines for a trailer, and also pretend that this movie was a real thing. Rounding off the main cast of Squatchtown, we called up Anna Julia Canavan Lima, who acted in the original movie. Her character doesn't actually appear in the trailer that we made, but we just needed her there for social media and lying purposes. But here's the problem. We wanted to make a trailer for this film, but not one of us knows anything about how to produce animation. You're listening. What's your dream? I think animation is perhaps the one genre that I admire the most because it's the one that I really don't think I could do myself. I think that you'll find Sophie Crowder's film, What's Your Dream, to be a visual delight. I met Sophie briefly in New York, and we've talked a little bit since, and I'm super impressed with all of her talent. Okay, so that's what I've got for you today. Check out these films, let me know what you think, let them know what you think, unless it's bad, then... I met Sophie Crowder at the 2022 All-American High School Film Festival.
Sam and I met at All-American.
I got to see her film, What's Your Dream, and I was really impressed by her art style and storytelling.
And then Sam comes up to me and he's like, hey, you want to get in on something with me? And I'm like, hell yeah.
So I decided that I would reach out to her and ask if she would be down for some scheming.
An animated film, but really, we just drop a trailer and then we completely bamboozle all these people for April Fools, and I'm like, hell yes.
So in January, we gathered the crew together to discuss how we were going to pull this off.
It was very fun coming up with the idea and thinking about how we were going to do it because we all got on Zoom calls. I had an Among Us background, which is an important detail that I feel like I should mention.
So here was the plan. On March 18th, at the end of an unrelated YouTube video, I would announce that the film was on the way and that the trailer would be coming out the next week.
At the end of that video, he mentioned that there was going to be a trailer drop next Saturday.
On March 22nd, the poster for the film would be revealed on Instagram and also on our YouTube community tab. On March 25th, the trailer that Sophie was helping us produce would come out. On March 31st, we would hold a premiere screening of the film at my house where I would let a small number of people in on the prank and invite them to help us in building the illusion. Finally, on April 1st, the film's fake release date, we would finally reveal that it had been a hoax all along. So the first official imagery for the film was the poster, which Sophie drew. She sent it over to me as a base image. I added the text and credits and all of that in Photoshop. I'm about to run into Walmart and get something really special. There's this one group of people that have been doing donuts really f***ing fast around the Walmart parking lot, so I feel a little bit terrified. We really wanted the audience to look at this poster and be like, what the hell is going to happen in this movie? So we have all of these little snippets from really vague scenes. All of that, Sophie's idea, by the way. I didn't come up with any of those scenes. That's all Sophie's sense of humor right there. So we released the poster on March 22nd as planned, and we got quite a few positive reactions. The most difficult part of our plan, though, was the trailer.
Sophie would send us demos, which were very, very fun to watch, and it was really cool to watch, like how she made the trailer.
So after the base animation for the trailer was done, we needed some voice acting. So Michael came over, we did his lines for the trailer.
Trying to make up stuff that, like, could actually be in a movie like this.
Bro, how was I supposed to know the Loch Ness Monster was gonna come after us? Dude, are we in freaking Scotland? What do you mean, how do I know it's Scotland? There's bagpipes!
Now, the film's release, or the trailer's release, was getting closer and closer and closer, but we hadn't recorded Reese Mosley's voice lines yet. Thankfully, in late March, I was going for a tour of the University of Georgia in Athens, where Reese just happens to be a music major. So, the day before the trailer's release, we were in the back of my car with a very makeshift sound setup, recording Reese Mosley's dialogue that ended up in this trailer, which came out the very next day.
The last line is, holy sh**. Yay.
Holy sh**! Holy sh**! Holy shit!
Once the dialogue and a good bit of sound design had been added to the trailer, it was finally ready to be seen by the general public. I exported it, and the next day I made it public on YouTube. The trailer for One Night in Loch Ness is out on Instagram and on YouTube.
The first time I saw the full trailer was then, and that was very cool. I enjoyed watching that.
The one thing I'm nervous about is that this trailer is the first time that we've like explicitly referenced the date. The end of the trailer does say April 1st, 2023. So I guess my worry is that that might lead some people to like catch on, because I don't really know how this bit is gonna go over. My hope is that people like it and they don't just feel lied to and think it's dumb.
I hyped it up to like all my friends. I hyped it up to my parents. My parents were super stoked. I was like really hyping it up, and I was posting on my Instagram, you know.
And then finally, March 31st, the day of the film's premiere screening, rolled around. Wow, this party is hopping. Okay, hey everybody, thank you for coming tonight. We put a lot of work in this movie and we can't wait for you to see it. Unfortunately, our composer and voice actor, Reese Mosley, can't be here tonight because he has a concert, and our animator, Sophie Cratter, can't be here tonight because she lives in Alaska. Before we get started, did you say womp womp? The bad news is that One Night in Loch Ness isn't technically what you would call a real movie.
What?
In fact, it's completely made up. We are, however, making a movie, and it's a short documentary about how we tricked everyone into thinking that we made an animated movie. And I want you all to be a part of it. Sophie made the trailer, and the trailer is all that exists. After I had broken the news to our very first audience, I asked them for their help. I had a bunch of people take pictures of the TV screen, of their popcorn, of the poster, and so on. I had them post those pictures to Instagram and tag pictures up. And then that night, after the premiere screening, I sat down right here to film a little announcement for the folks at home. Hey, so, April Fools. Before I tell you what I'm about to tell you, know that I am sorry for this. One Night in Loch Ness is not a real movie.
And then the big reveal dropped, and it was really funny. Like, my friends were like, what the heck, Sophie? And my parents, I remember my mom specifically being like very annoyed.
My parents were pissed. It was awesome. They called me like, we all got snuggled up on the couch ready to watch the movie, and that was mean. Hangs up.
In my opinion, the prank went very well. I only know one person who called it beforehand, so I think it's pretty safe to say that we successfully managed to trick a lot of people into thinking that One Night in Loch Ness was a real movie.
So I guess the moral of the story is don't ever work with Sam Morgan and at Pictures Up Productions, because you might get joked. You might have to walk the prank even though you were the prank. And on the there was a joke there.